Hi guys, welcome to VeryLittleCoder YouTube channel. So this is my first video. So this is basics of JavaScript part 1. We'll be uploading a video daily. So I'll be starting from JavaScript. We'll be completing web development front end and back end completely. We'll be going through multiple JavaScript libraries, frameworks related to front end and both back end. So as of now, we'll be teaching JavaScript in this series. So let us start the first video through the introduction. So this is JavaScript basics. So to start to start a web development, we need prerequisites like a browser. We are having Chrome and a code editor. We are going to install VS Code in this, and a compiler or an interpreter. So a Node.js is a compiler and interpreter which will run JavaScript in our system locally. So we are also having Chrome, which is having an inbuilt V8 engine, which can run JavaScript. But now we have to run locally, so we are using Node.js. Okay. So we'll be first going through one by one. So we need to install a Chrome. We have to install a browser. I'll recommend Chrome. We can see we'll be just download. As you know, we can download the Chrome and it recognizes the software, so no need to worry. It's a one click installation, nothing to do. So after that we need to install a code editor. VS Code editor is somewhat beginner friendly and very helpful. So we are going to install VS Code. So we can see we directly go to the download page, so we can download from Windows. As our mine is Windows, so I'm going with Windows. Installation will be same for both Mac and Windows, and for Linux it is better to go through terminal. Okay. So after that we need a so so after that we need to download Node.js. As I told you, Node.js is a JavaScript compiler. We need Node.js. So we can see here it is showing the PowerShell command, but we'll be going to we'll be going to directly download the thing, because it is somewhat beginner friendly also. We'll be downloading here. We can see it is asking, it is somewhat so no need to worry, we can download it. So Node.js is directly downloaded. It's a 23 MB file only. So once after downloading, we need to install it. I'll be running. We can just install it. Nothing to worry, as it is already installed and no need to worry. Okay, guys. So now we will be running our first line of JavaScript code. So if you click inspect here, we'll be greeting with it. If you want to make it full screen, we can click it like this, so it will be full screen. Now in the console is a JavaScript console, so we can print. So basically, if anybody having some Python knowledge, so we can do some basic math operations like 5 plus 5, it's 10, right? It is showing up 10. So we can, as it is, we can download 5 minus 2 is 3. It will show up. If you want to print a thing, then we can click console log for suppose 5. It is printing the 5. So it is console log is basically printing the thing. If you want to show it to the browser, then we can click alert. If you click alert here, we can see we'll get a pop-up on the screen. You can see we got a pop-up. So basically this is the JavaScript overview. Now we are going to open VS Code. As I told you, I already installed VS Code and as I already have it, so it will open up like this. But but basically how it happens is it will show you, it will ask you to take you to a folder. So as of now I can't open a folder, but I will show you how to do it. So for suppose it will be the same for everybody, right? For suppose I have created a folder, we can name it as you want. I am keeping it default because it's just for demonstration purpose only. So I'll be clicking, I'll be opening command cmd here. So after that I'll click code dot, such that VS Code will open up here in this folder. Okay, click trust. Okay, then you can create new folders, like as in my case I need main.js. So the JavaScript file name is main. As of now, remember these things. We'll be teaching further. Clear, right? So this is the JavaScript file that I am already having. So we'll be running JavaScript right here. So it's a main.js. So once after downloading the prerequisites, we need to understand what are values, variables, and declaration. Okay. So let us see script code, but let's assume it's a mathematical expression. So x is a variable. So 5 is a value. 5 is a value. Okay. So and let's here you can see, let's x is a declaration. Then let x is equal to 5 is an assignment. So we assigned 5 to the variable x. Clear, right? So this is the basic structure of JavaScript. So as of now we are clear. Okay, now where, let, and const. So we can see we have declared here let. What is the let? So generally in programming languages it is JavaScript. For suppose if anybody coming from other programming languages, uh, so for suppose we'll take some other programming languages. So we can see in Java we are giving as an integer. So int stand for integer, or else float stand for decimal value, or else string stand for str is a string. So this value will be converted to like this. But in JavaScript there's a bit difference. I'll run later. So in JavaScript on ES6, so ES6 there is an extension, like there is an update to JavaScript on 2015. So in the year 2015, so ES6 has been 2015. ES6 is like ECMAScript 6. So they released a new version of JavaScript. So in the version of JavaScript, let has been introduced. Previously we used to have where and const. So we'll see what is the difference between where and const. So first, so what will be the basic difference? If you see, I'll show you the differences. So for suppose you just try to understand what I'm doing. So for suppose I have written a function. So we are not giving any names. I'll tell you what are these things. So for suppose we'll be giving let x is equal to 5. Okay, now we'll be printing console.log x. Fine, right? We'll be printing console.log x. So, so, so guess what will be the outcome? We have to call the function. This is how it works basically. So we shouldn't give names actually. So it is giving a um, cross because name is a reserved keyword. We shouldn't use name functions like that. It will still work, but it is better to give some other functions. So let's give print. So print. So what do you think? What do as you know it is not declared here, so it has to throw some error, right? So yeah, it is throwing some error. It is good. Now what happens if I keep a where here? So you can see here it is giving undefined, right? So that is also correct if you go through that point. So I'll okay. Now in this is a function. Don't worry, we can just click function in the if you click function it will appear, so you can directly use it. As of now, just see how I'm doing. Just see how I'm doing. So it's a function, so I'm calling a function. Just remember it. We'll do it later. So we are trying to call this variable, like we are trying to print this variable before assigning it. So because we have given where here, it is not throwing an error. First it is showing it as undefined, then after that it is printing it, right? Clear. So there is some problem here. If you clearly see, then how to avoid it? So to avoid this, in 2015 they came up with this thing, let. So in let, it won't allow it to happen. So first it will throw error. So somehow we can rectify the errors. So what is the primary difference between where and let? Now our topic is where and let. So we can see where is an old one. As of now, most of the people don't use where, but we need to know the differences. It can make a lot of things possible. So for suppose, try to, if it is not understanding, try to skip this part. Not an issue. We'll be learning this again and again. So as of now it is very basic, like we are having a where in front of it, so we are covering this topic, but this is somewhat advanced. We can switch, skip, if we are having some issues with understanding it. So let us see. So the thing is like, if we are declaring a variable here, for suppose where x is equal to 5. Okay, so try to, so we can see we already declared here. Let won't allow to redeclare it. Okay, one by one we'll go through. Okay, so we can see where x is equal to 5 we have given. So now x is equal to 7. So we can see there are no squiggly lines, so it is possible. So reassigning is possible. Okay, we can reassign through where. So we'll see. What about let then? Let y is equal to 7 will take. Okay, So it is also possible. So reassigning is possible here also. Reassigning is here is possible here also. Then again next difference. So we can see we already declared where x is equal to 5. uh, Now see where x is equal to 6. Now you can see it is making it like we can reassign the variable. So we can reassign the value, right? Reassigning value is possible. Okay, reassigning value is possible, but here reassigning the variable is possible here. It should be noticed. Okay, so we can see it won't allow this thing because it's clearly have some issues, right? S- so we can see, so we can clearly see it's a problem here. So we need to avoid it. And after that s- so after that hoisting is allowed. What is hoisting? Hoisting is allowed here. Here we can see hoisting is not allowed. What is hoisting? It's so simple, guys. We can see we'll just okay. We can see when we use let it is throwing some error, right? When we use where it won't throw error, right? It won't throw error. So we can see here it is somewhat logically correct because JavaScript work from top to bottom line by line. It is a it is non-blocking, works synchronously like from top to bottom. It is execute line by line. One line is completed, then only it will enter second line. So as of now we can see x is there, but x is not declared. So here it won't throw error. So this is called hoisting, guys. This point is called hoisting. So as you know, when there is a let, it is not allowing, right? So we can see it is not throwing an error here, but is throwing but it will show it as an error. So this is the called hoisting, and that too the zone where it can't reach is called temporal dead zone. Okay, dead zone. Okay, don't worry, I'll be teaching it again again one more time, or else you can directly skip, no issue with it. Okay, so and after that we'll be declaring scope. Scope is like global scope. It can have global scope. We'll be teaching this, don't worry. Global scope is just nothing but we can access everywhere. Okay, global scope, and it having a functional scope. So this will be generally have a block scope. Just keep this Just remember these lines. I'll explain one by one. Okay. So now let's assume you are having a function. Again, I'll be teaching it once again. Just see the things, right? Okay. I'm not giving any parameters and I'm keeping it as name one. So I'll teach you the naming conventions of naming functions once I got into function. So we can see, for suppose I'll be giving global scope. For suppose where x is equal to 5. Okay. So it can be accessed wherever you want. For suppose console.log dot we can see x. So as you know, it will work. Okay. But once we'll just but one actually wait a second. Sorry guys, don't worry. I forgot to call the function. So we'll be calling, then we can say it is running, it is giving 5. So let's see what happens if we keep let here. So it is also coming here. So we can say it is also having a global scope. Okay, it is also having a global scope. And yeah, function scope, we are talking about this only. Functional scope is nothing but we are just talking about this thing. Function scope is like we are using it inside of a function. Okay, inside of a function. So it is a this is called a functional scope. So what is a block scope? Block scope is nothing but if you use it like this, you can say let so the one which is inside of a curly braces is called a block scope. So if we further go, we'll be getting for loops, all these loops. There we'll see this very clearly. As of now, we have to discuss about scope of the variables. So as of now, just keep it. So what about const? Const const x is equal to 5, right? So so here we can see with let and where we can change the value of x. With const we can't change. For suppose x is equal to 6, it won't change. Now we can see it is looks like it will accept, but it won't. It will throw some error. We can see. So we can see we got a big error. So why? Because it is declared with const, so we can't change it. So const only applies to primitive values, right? It is not applied to like uh, for suppose I'll tell you what about primitive values. Primitive primitive values in JavaScript. Now anyway we are the data types. Data types are nothing but we can assign values like this. So in the beginning of the video we have discussed about JavaScript. In JavaScript we can see no, it's Java. So I'm not going to teach Java now. Just try to understand, that's it. So we can see, so So I'm not going to teach Java, don't worry. So we can see here float is there. Float is actually like a decimal value. And for suppose we can see int is there. Int is like an integer value, and there is a thing called primitive data types. So the primitive data types will be affected by const. There the values won't be changed, but there are some other data types. For suppose I'll tell you, primitive data types will be string. String is nothing but string is not string is like an English alphabet. We can give whatever, like we can give like a name. These things can be called as string. And after that, number. In number both integers and decimals will come under number. So here in programming language, int is called integer, and float is called decimal. Okay, so this is how we call. Then after that, we'll be having big int. Big integer is nothing but big uh big, biggest integer, right? Biggest integer a system can accept, the programming language can accept, which will be same for most of the programming languages. I'll be teaching you, no worries. So after that, undefined. What is undefined? While we are giving, while we are assigning where here, we can see we got undefined. That is called undefined, like the value which is not having. So the one which is defined with that where will get undefined. Okay, don't worry, we'll be going through one by one. So after that, we are having symbol. Symbol is like character in Java, some other programming languages. Here it's a symbol, like it's a one word string or one symbol for something like a variable. It will be, it's not a variable, it's a value only, but it will be like that. So what is null? Null is like nothing. So we'll be going through null. If we console log null, an object will be, will get an object. So null is like having no value is called null, but it is not undefined. Okay, so this is called null. So as of now we'll see small values, like we know in we constantly use these three things. Obviously, number we use. Programming is all with numbers only. Like string is like we can assign names, characters. With uh, with strings only we can assign. So don't need to assign the data types of the values. The JavaScript will automatically detect these things. Okay, so we can see if we keep true it or false, it will automatically detect it as a boolean. Boolean is a true or false value, nothing more than that. So as of now we already talked about this thing, like primitive data types. Primitive data types are like we can see it's something like one value, one word. Values are called as primitive. So one number, for suppose 1 million is also a single number, not like a, i'll I'll explain you in detail later. So these are called primitive values. So I almost explained these things: null, undefined, boolean, number, big int, string, symbol. We came across these things. Now we'll see JavaScript, basically operators. So a math, how math works in JavaScript. We'll go through this. So we can just inspect and open it here, or else we'll create here only. operators. So we'll be going through it. We'll be using let from now. No worries, we can use where also, but I'm preferring let from now. So let us see. Let x is equal to 5. Let y is equal to 6. So x is already defined over there, so that's why it's not allowing. These are called comments. 1 second, we'll be teaching a small word. Comments. What are comments? Comments are the one which is used to make a note. Developers use comments to, for suppose if you have written a complex function, then the developer should understand that this is a function. So that's why developers keep comments. So this is a single line comment. This is a single line comment, and this is a double line comment. So we'll keep it here such that we can understand it's a double line comment. Multi-line. It's a multi-line comment. Okay, guys, clear, right? Okay, so basically, as of now, we have taught these things. Now addition. We'll go through addition. Okay, we'll be going through addition. So let z is equal to x plus 5, x plus y. Of c. Obviously, we know the output will be 11, but we'll run. So the output is right here. It's 11. Clear, right? So now we'll be having subtraction. We'll be having subtraction. Let z is equal to y minus x. Y minus x. Uh, don't worry. JavaScript also supports the negative values, but we are giving this thing as of now. So we can see we got 1. Now we need minus 1 anyway. So you can see JavaScript gives negative values. So JavaScript supports, it will automatically detect the value types and it will give. Okay. Now we need multiplication. Let z is equal to x into y. So we know 6 5 is 35. So it will give 35. Oh, 6 5 is 30. Sorry. So JavaScript corrected by this type. That's a good one. So now you need a division. Now we need division. So let z is equal to 6 divided by 5. We have to see the answer. It will be 1.1 somehow. So it's 1.2. So it 1.2. Yeah, right. So you can see it is correcting my errors. So division. Then there is a modulo division. Mod Modulo division is like I'll so so it is a so it is a quotient. This is dividend and the bottom one is a remainder. So the 5 is a divisor, 6 is a dividend, right? The coefficient is the value that which we give. So the coefficient here came out to be exact 1.2. So we can see it can't have decimals right here, right? Why it is like we can have, but technically before giving the decimal values, we'll be having a reminder. That's why we are getting the one which will give out the reminder. So this time I will have a correct math. So the one will be remaining. One will be the reminder here. So you can see let z is equal to 6/5. Sorry. Mm, it is a modular division. So the output, as I told you, it will be 1. The remainder is 1. Right? Clear, right? So this is how math works in JavaScript. So now we'll be having